Using drugs and committing crimes gives you the illusion that you're above suspicion and out of sight.
Too often when you ask someone, well, what are men's issues, people either draw a total blank or they think about things like domestic violence, anger management. All of a sudden, those are the things that we start seeing attached to men. And it doesn't really capture the kind of inner experience of men.
Those are times I remember at the end of my drinking career was sitting there by myself drinking a pitcher of beer like at some pizza place or something. Or just being by myself drinking. And having these dreams about where I, or really what it would end up being was like, being very aware that you were sitting there by yourself drinking alone and you drink more to get that out of your mind, But that sort of loneliness, now I have solitude.
I got busted right here. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to change the area where I do my crime. But I always thought that I could find a way where I could beat the system. And I was kind of scared because I knew I was in there with murderers, thieves, cutthroats, whatever. But you can't beat the cheat. You gonna get caught.
A lot of times guys are carrying around a lot of unaddressed grief issues. Guys have gone through a whole lot of losses in their life. But if they're not letting people know that they heard about it, that's wearing a suit of armor. What happens is you really become imprisoned by that suit of armor.
After 2 days, I was diagnosed with AIDS. I was not just diagnosed with HIV, I was diagnosed with AIDS. Back then, it was what I heard somebody call, a friend of mine, he said, called the Superman theory. Nothing can hurt me except kryptonite. So I felt invincible. I knew about AIDS, but I just, just took a chance, and I just said, this is not the one that's going to get me. It's normal to go through a grieving process when you're first diagnosed. I didn't come into recovery and all of a sudden I felt great about my HIV. It's a step-by-step process. But when that grieving period starts taking years, something's wrong with that, where you're trying to deny the disease. And when you do that, you're not getting the proper medical care, you're not dealing with psychological issues that the disease is going to bring automatically. And those issues could make you stay drunk.
Part of the process of kind of learning how to live without the suit of armor is finding places where you don't need it. So for many men, it certainly could be in a recovery circle where people are there to talk about life and to get real.
Whatever you hang around, you soon become. So if I hang around people who's not using drugs, I'm not going to use them either, because we gravitate to what we hang around. If you want to be like that, hang around that. When I wanted to do what I did in the streets, I hung around them people who did what I wanted to do in the streets. The same case scenario, just a different side of the fence.
Normally, we get sober for all the wrong reasons, but we stay sober for all the right ones.
Maybe it was I had enough innate, personality and maturity to finally go, okay, I'm sticking with this time, God damn it.
My recovery to me is not just about alcohol, it's the whole person, me personally. Spiritually, mentally, physically, all that has to go into that to make myself whole.
I finally got to that point where the fear of the unknown was less than the fear of the known. And the fear of the known was, I'm not going to make it. My 6-year-old son comes up to me and he's telling the story actually to somebody else, that he liked the neighbor Kevin more than he liked Daddy because Kevin played with him and Daddy never played with him. And at that moment where I was newly sober, it was just the most shattering, heartbreaking thing that's ever happened to me. Nothing happens in God's world by accident.
I had to go through this learning experience of going in and out of jail to get the knowledge that I needed to have to help other people. That's just how I look at it. God didn't just clean me up just for me to just be clean. He cleaned me up so he could use me as an example of his power, and there's hope after drugs. That's amazing. That's amazing.